What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from MRB Classic Pro Shop here inside Classic Lanes in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And today we're going to talk about the Vapor Zone, the hybrid version of the Vapor Zone. And we're not just going to talk about it, but we're going to take it out in the lanes on a fresh 42-foot lane pattern. And we're going to throw it a few shots, uncut, so you can see shot after shot, even the bad shots, and we can discuss what we see out on the lanes. But we went with my standard 5.5-inch layout, so that puts the pin just left of my middle finger and a little bit underneath it as well. So and then the mass bias goes to the right of the thumb, puts it in a little bit stronger position. So the layout ends up being 60 by 5.5 by 50. So it's a little bit different than some of the other ones because that lower third number, usually we go 70 or 80, which puts the mass bias basically under the thumb and smooths it out even more. So let's see if we can't get a little bit more pop out of this ball than what we do, say, like the halos and the idols and stuff like that. So we're going to take it out here and throw a few shots, so stay tuned. All right, so we changed the surface a little bit on this ball. We took it down to a wet 2000 with the True Cut pads from CTD. It was at 3000 and it looked a little dull, so we kind of sheened it up just a pinch to see if it would change. Just appearance almost. It just looked too dull to me to start. These first few shots, I mean, this ball looked pretty incredible. The motion it gave me down lane was really good, and it read the middle of the lane really well, like a Brunswick ball always does. Brunswick balls are really good at, most of the time it's usually at reading in the front or reading in the middle really well. This ball seems to find its way to read the middle really well and still continue down lane. Now you'll notice at the end of the video we talk about how I did throw this ball a little bit after this review was being done, and it did slow down a little bit down lane, a little bit of oil shine on it and stuff. So I'm gonna take some surface back to it and see if it goes back to having that pop that it had. So you know, probably 30 shots in, it started to slow down just a pinch, round out the back of the pattern a little bit. But this kind of gives you a good look as we move left what we're seeing out of the ball. Now I never really felt like I had to get my hand around it too much. I could still keep it forward. The core is tumbly enough, it keeps it going forward. And this is almost like a light bulb type of core anyway. And those types of cores, I've always liked those types of cores anyway. So, and this is that layout that, you know, we know it works good for me. We know it looks good for me. So I think this layout, I'm pretty much going to use it on most of the demos just because I know it's going to look pretty good, and you'll be able to see the difference just in the cover stocks alone. Core tumbling, you'll be able to see them if they're early or late and stuff like that. But you won't see dramatic differences except for, like, you know, a super strong ball compared to a lower end ball. But for the most part, you'll see a lot of similarities, and you'll be able to kind of pick and choose what you like to see. Whereas, like, this, to me, is actually a little bit stronger than the Halo was. You know, I'm going to compare it to the Halo again. It's just a little bit stronger down lane, a little bit less continuous. It's almost more hockey stick a little bit. So it would fit pretty well in that asymmetrical part of my bag. After the Halo got a little bit smoother, a little bit too smooth, and I needed something to pop a little bit more in the middle of the lane that got some oil in there, I could switch to this. So I would say it's definitely more of a ball. It will look better for a mid to high rate rev guy or gal. I'm more in the mid range. I'm not a high rev guy, so this ball looked pretty good for me. Kind of watching the ball go through the pins is pretty cool. Really, not very many of them deflected when we went through here. Not very many shots deflected. I think there was only one, maybe two balls that the ball actually hit the head pin and deflected to the right pretty bad. But it still struck. You know, even when I got to that light swish zone, the ball still found a way to strike. And see, that one drove right through the middle of the deck. And that's what we like to see. When the ball drives and goes through the pins, goes directly through the middle of the pin deck. You know, I mean, 9 times out of 10, or even 99 times out of 100 most times, unless it's a bad rack, you know, you enter the pocket like that, the ball's going to strike. So the fact that this ball is reading like that, it's a good sign. And it's a Vapor Zone. I mean, come on. It's a proven core, proven technology. It's got a little bit different cover on it, but That Vapor Zone back in the day was amazing. I loved my original Vapor Zone. I never did get a chance to throw the new original, the new blue Vapor Zone. See, that one deflected a little bit. You can see, watch this one, just a pinch. Still goes through the pins and still strikes, but just a pinch deflects off that 5 pin to the right. Loses a little bit of energy. Wasn't completely in its roll phase yet. So, but either way, that's still a good sign that you find something like that to strike. You know, when your bad shots or your not so great shots still strike, that's kind of what we're looking for, right? I guess I probably could have trimmed this video up a little bit so you didn't have all this waiting time in between shots, but it is a true uncut video. This one looked really good. Got about 6 down lane, just trucked back. Dead through the middle of the deck. Doesn't get much better than that. I don't think this will be a great bowling ball for playing straighter with. I think it's going to be more of a moving left, and that's the one I was talking about, the light swish zone. He just kind of hook stops. You got it too far right, and just hook stops right into the light swish pocket. Still strikes. That gets out to what? 4? 3, 4 out there? Probably 4. Still comes back, still strikes. And it was that far right down lane, so you can see how far Brunswick has come with their cover stocks to be able to. I mean, to be completely honest, some of the bowling balls that I threw back in the day, you threw them that far right, you know, they had no chance. And this one, it was another one of those situations where I set it down right in the left-hand draw. You can see that hit like 7 on the left side, and it hooked immediately and had no chance of getting to the right. So that bad boy went Brooklyn. But you'll still get to see the left side. You get to see the left-handed Brooklyn. Now we'll wait a few minutes and for me to get set up to throw the next shot. I should have trimmed this a little bit better. That's okay. Y'all get the idea. That one's really good. You can see where that thing picks up in the middle of the lane. Like right there. Just tries to start going left, and then it makes its motion down lane. It doesn't try to go left, but it starts to slow down. The cover starts to see the lane a little bit. It starts to change direction. Man, that's perfect. And then when we finally jump back to the right, you'll see a couple of shots to the right. You won't be able to see very well. But when we jump back to the right, it doesn't want to hold line. It just wants to go. We get that 10-11 mark, and it just doesn't want to stay to the right. It's pretty good up the lane, but it's just too strong. Overhooks. And remember, I mean, this is a fresher pattern. This was fresh at the beginning of this, so the halo would get through there, and it would lay off and find a way to at least hit the pocket there. So the vapor zone is definitely stronger. You see one more shot over here. How many of you guys and gals leaned to the right when I got in front of it? I bet you were leaning just a little bit to the right, trying to see around me. Yeah, just bad camera angle for that type of shot, but you can see it doesn't quite get there. Just never gets to the pocket. But I mean, all in all, I'm still pretty impressed with this ball. All right, so we saw some pretty cool things out of this ball. It was pretty neat. It was pretty sharp off the pattern. Full disclosure here, we did throw it a little bit after this review. I went live to give a little bit of a sneak peek. So if you haven't seen that, head over to my channel. Just type in JR Raymond. You'll see my channel as well. And you can see the live sneak peek preview of that. It's like a 20-minute video of me just throwing this ball a little bit. Not a lot of discussion in there. But you can see in that video, in the live version, the ball starts to slow down a little bit once the ball gets a little bit of oil on it. So it's not as sharp off the spot. So it looked really good in both times. It was just a little bit quicker during this review, a little bit stronger, really read the middle of the lane and really wanted to go through the pins hard, which was a really good sign. So I think this is just going to be one of those balls where if you're a medium to high rev player, this ball will be good for you. The lower rev guys, I'm not so sure this ball will pick up enough unless you put some surface on it. You might need to put a whole bunch of surface on it because it does tend to shine up a little bit. And it does get that lane shine and start to go a little bit straighter and smoother. So I think this ball would be really good for that medium to higher end player that needs a ball to kind of control the middle of the lane and not be so crazy in the front or middle. So if you're looking for something like this, if you liked what you see, make sure to head over to BowlerX.com and get yours today. They are being, I'm not sure if they're available yet. They might be pre-ordering right now. So if you can get one, get one. If you can pre-order one, go ahead and set over there and just pre-order one today. So that's BowlerX.com. And for anything else that you need other than, yeah, obviously we can't use the discount codes on some of the newer stuff because of MAP pricing. We have to price them at certain things and can't discount them. But for anything else, accessories and wise and all that, use discount code JRX. Get yourself a small discount. So until next time, guys, I appreciate you coming by. We've got some other Brunswick balls coming up. The Zing, I believe the Zing Hybrid, the Intimidator, and some of the other stuff, the Uppercut. We're going to do some of the other Brunswick stuff a little bit later this week. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Thanks.